What's the most urgent health problem facing the country today? We've been asking that question for over 20 years. Let's look at our current update this month, November 09. About a third of Americans say it is access to health care. Maybe not surprising given all the talk about health care reform and the problems people have getting to health care, having enough money to pay for it. Actually, speaking of money, that's number two with 18% who say the cost of health care is the most urgent health problem facing the country. And what's three? Well, it takes to third place before we finally get to the actual mention of a disease or a problem. It is flu. That's up significantly from previous years. Why? Well, because we're in the middle of a lot of publicity right now about H1N1 or the swine flu virus that's going around. So perhaps not surprisingly, 16% of Americans tell us that's our most urgent health problem. Below swine flu is cancer at 9%. I'll come back to that in a moment. Obesity at 8%. And everything else is at 2 percentage points or lower. Look back through time. It's interesting. When we asked this question in the late 80s, AIDS was at the top of the list. At one point in 1987, two-thirds of Americans, 68%, told us that AIDS was the most urgent health problem facing the country. That's certainly fallen way, way down in this decade to the point where now we only have 1% who say AIDS is our most urgent problem. What about cancer? Well, that's fluctuated. The high point in recent decades, at any rate, 23%, about 10 years ago, 1999, who said cancer was our most important problem. Other things have come and gone over the years. We had 22%, for example, who back in 2001 said that bioterrorism was our most urgent health problem. That was at the time after 9/11 when Americans were very concerned about the possibility of bioterrorism, and there had been those anthrax letters that so scared Americans at that point in time. All in all, when you stop somebody in the street right now and say, what's the most urgent health problem facing the country, they're most likely to say, access to health care. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Gallup's editor-in-chief.